on in. Welcome to my home and studio. I'm Tony Luciani, and lovely to have you here. So this was a church built in the 1920s. I purchased it 16 years ago, and it still needs a few renovations here and there, but I'm getting around to it. So come on in. My lovely turnstiles. And nowadays we have to be socially conscious about distance and being clean, so put some lotion on your hands and sanitize as much as we can. So come on in. So the first thing you come into as you come into my home is my studio. Being a church, this was an open concept where the congregation used to sit. And we have 11-foot high ceilings. Come over here and I'll show you what I'm working on presently. This painting called The Doll Watcher. It's in its first stage. So once I get the initial painting laid in, then I go into it maybe another 1 or 2 more times to build up depth and detail and color and mood and feeling and atmosphere. So at this point, I'm just placing things as I go along. Over here, as you can see, I'm pretty organized with my paints, he says sarcastically. But I just throw things on there and I pick them out as I need them. So this side of the studio, I have a few things out that I pulled out of my storage, so you could see. There's now the pots, stacked pots, and we've got the stacked violins. I got some skyscapes. These ones are kind of fun. Self-portrait. And if you turn it around, you get the back of my head. And this one here, body, torso, and on the back is the back. So come on in. I've got a painting here of a scene in Barcelona that I did a few years ago. I love the elongated street scenes, and that's why I kept the painting very much in a narrow vertical. That's the sense I got when I was there. There's a lot of narrow streets and looking up skyward. This one called Silent Wind, Church with Turbines. There are many interpretations about this painting, what it means and so forth, so I'll leave it up to you to decide. The big painting, Fred, it's quite large. It's full size. And Fred was a resident of Durham, where I live now, and he was a book collector, a book dealer, always suave and dapper. Every time he left his home, he made sure he had his fedora on, he brought his cane, and just an awesome fellow. So if you carry on this part of the studio, on this side, I have a scene from our local little barbershop in town. And a lot of those things on the table and so forth are all completely made up from things that I have in my studio. I just placed them where I needed to be placed. And down below, another part of my little stacked series, some stuffed animals and so forth that I just threw together. And so this side of the studio is more of a living area as you look at more works I have out. I have, my photography series is here. I have my drop-down background, black and white and cloth drapery. My lights, my tripod, and this is actually where I did the series of my mother posing, called Mama in the Meantime. She was with me for 4 years, and she's presently 97 years old, still living in an adult residence. and she has dementia. So I did a whole series documenting her life as a young girl. A few more paintings that I have. The scene of backyards in Harrison, where I used to live. And this one here is the cemetery in Paris, where Morrison and Oscar Wilde and Marcel Marceau and many famous people are buried there. And it looks like a community of houses. And I just love the aspect of everything just being overlapping each other, on top of each other, and they're so close together, and it's like a neighborhood for the beautiful souls that left us. This painting is from a shop in Durham that no longer exists. It was a music store, and it was just a mishmash of color and instruments and so forth and so on. And so I did a painting of that as well. So back here is a little sitting area that I have arranged with a fireplace in the corner. This little statue that I did when I was in high school, if you can believe that. I think I was like 13 years old when I did him. I went to Central Tech in Toronto, which was an art school, partially. And so this is a sitting area in my movie theater. I have a projector and a screen and a stage. Now the stage is a little area that could be used as a secondary bedroom or so forth when my kids come over. But I found after buying the house, about 2-3 days later, there's something very interesting about the stage. I lifted this little carpet that was here, and I found a trap door. I thought, oh, that is so fascinating. So I opened it up really slowly, and I peered inside, and then I fully opened it. And there's stairs going down to this concrete area, and there was nothing in it. But the possibilities of making it into a hot tub was fantastic. So it was a baptismal font. The church was a Baptist church at one point. So right now it's empty, and I'm going to be using it as a hot tub one of these days. Come on up. So as you come up the stairs, you first enter my dining room. And it's still under renovations, like I said earlier. So presently I'm sanding walls in order to get them painted. I did cut down a wall in half to bring in more light in both rooms. So a lot of the works you see on these walls some are mine, but most of other people's talents. Richard Robertson is there in the corner here, just coming up the stairs. On top is a Laura Muntz, and below that is Wesley Bates. And if you keep turning to your left, I have a self-portrait that is a wall and ceiling painting. So coming this way, I have wonderful squeaky floors. My house speaks to me. I just love my house that it speaks. This is my living area, and I've got works by Glenn Priestley and Sir Ernest George down below. The top one is Banbury, another English painter. I have folk art tapestry, Americana. I have a watercolor that is unsigned, and I like to believe it's a Charles Birchfield, though of course it's not. Hasn't been evaluated or anything, so I'm hoping that it is. This way, I have a drawing that I purchased in Toronto many years ago. It's a study for a painting by Fred Hagen. And then beside Fred is a litho from Hugh Mackenzie, and beside him is a pencil drawing by John Newman. All three of these works are from instructors I had at Art College in Toronto, the Art College of Ontario. And so back further down this wall, this hallway, that's my bedroom. These were all offices up here when the church was in operation, so these rooms are small. when I did some renovations, I needed some closets because they didn't come with closets. So I kind of lost one bedroom and added closets. I made my bathroom a little bigger. So this is a guest room with closet this time. So I had to move walls around. Most of the work I did myself. Conscientious of bearing walls and so forth and so on. This is a drawing I want to speak about a little bit. This is a drawing I bought in 1984 in a small village in Italy called Capistrano. I saw it and it struck me and I fell in love with it immediately. And it's signed D. Di Benedetto, 1923, Autoritratto. Autoritratto in Italian means self-portrait. So I didn't know until a few months later that D stands for Dominic Di Benedetto, and he's Tony Bennett's uncle. The singer Tony Bennett also paints, and Tony Bennett's real last name is Di Benedetto. So I have Tony Bennett's uncle hanging on my wall. This is a very interesting spot, right where we are. Before you come into the bathroom, this mirror has a very special significance. My mama, in the meantime, series with my mother, who has dementia and so forth, photobombed me. And I had a tripod looking in the mirror, adjusting different scenarios with focus and depth of field and ISOs and so forth, trying to figure it out. And my mother had used the bathroom and she peeked in, it's like this, and said she had to use the washroom. I said, Mom, a few more minutes, I have to just move things out of the way. And that was the very first time that we had a significant collaboration together. And I just started a whole 4-year series with Mom documenting her life as a little girl. And she has dementia, like I said, so I wanted to capture it as quickly as possible and do as much as I possibly could with her. So, come on this way. This is a kitchen that was renovated a couple of years ago. And further on this way, I have my office where I do a lot of my photography work with editing software and so forth. And so I spend a lot of time in here. Again, I also did this back room. It was an add-on addition that was falling apart, and I reinforced everything. I put in floor heating, and it's very comfortable. There is an outdoor deck, which was one of the first things that I built 16 years ago. So it's fantastic to expand my home to a beautiful summer. And if you look outside the window, you see the public art gallery just beyond my backyard. And then beyond the gallery is an old mill, which is now a private home, shared by 2 people. And then beyond the mill, the main Saugeen River. The other side of the Saugeen River is a beach. So I just have to walk through my backyard. I'm in the park walking dogs or just using the trails and so forth, just to escape and get my body moving a little bit, just so I'm not working all the time. So there's my house. Thank you for joining me and coming on a walkthrough with me. It's nice to give you a piece of myself, show you what I do, where I work and so forth. And it's been a pleasure. I just want to say be safe this time in this world. It's kind of a little off the center line, as you would say, and so we have to be careful. So thank you. Lovely to speak with you, and hopefully one day we'll catch together some moments at Loch Gallery in Toronto, Winnipeg, and Calgary with my work. So take care. Thank you very much.